Hi guys, my name is Quỳnh Chi.
Hi everyone, my name is Phan Nhật Khoa. My student ID is BAFNIU18049.
Hello everyone, my name is Sung Gi.
Hi everyone, my name is Lê Mai Lâm Thanh Quý. I'm member in group 3. I hope that you enjoy this video.
My name is Trần Nguyễn Khánh Ngọc.
Vietnam is blessed with many natural beauties. However, unfortunately, Vietnam environment is critically degraded. Some of the most prominent issues facing Vietnam environment can be mentioned as, first of all, chemical abuse. Vietnam use 15,000 to 25,000 tons of pesticide per year. 2 of 7 children out of 317 having sample tests at least poisoned. And the case of Formosa in 2016 cannot be forgotten. Another problem is air pollution made by vehicle emissions. Over 4,200 in every 100,000 people suffer from bronchitis. About 40% of fire dust PM2.5 are from vehicles such as motorbike, cars, or bus. And the most worrying one, which will be the focus of our video, that has accumulated for a long time and has a long-term effect in the future. Plastic waste. Plastic can be described as a series of synthetic or semi-synthetic organic compounds. They are particularly flexible and can be molded into many different shapes. It is widely used as a material for numerous items: spoons, straws, lids, bottles, bags, and packagings. Plastic is being used more and more, and that has caused the problems of plastic pollution, also known as white pollution. The plastic waste per capita of Vietnam had increased more than 10 times within the last 3 decades. This increasing number has given Vietnam the third place of plastic consumption in Southeast Asia after Malaysia and Thailand. Moreover, it is estimated that each Vietnamese person consumed 41.3 kilograms of plastic in 2018. On average, one uses at least 30 kilograms of plastic products per year. When being asked about plastic pollution, 55% of Vietnamese respondents were aware of the serious issue the country is facing. Nonetheless, 33% of them said that they could not live without plastic bottle and food wrap. Each year, the country produces about 1.8 million tons of plastic waste, ranking 4th in Asia. The worst thing is that only 27% of them is recycled. The others are burned or remain untreated and discharged into the environment.
Following are some main causes that lead to the alarming plastic pollution in Vietnam. Number 1. Inexpensiveness. One thing that makes plastic so special is that it requires significantly low manufacturing costs, while also considerably affordable, making both producers and consumers favor it. Thus, plastic is widely available and can be found anywhere in the form of water bottles, packaging bags, cans, straws, and much more. Number 2. Convenience and durability. Plastic can be used as a container for a variety of items, ranging from food and drinks to chemicals and more. Additionally, plastic can carry extremely heavy objects and at the same time be sharply stretched without tearing. Number 3. Fast disposal but slow decomposition. Most plastic products are single-use, which means that consumers tend to throw them away after the first use. Meanwhile, plastic takes hundreds of years to disappear completely. This fact has led to a massive amount of plastic waste that remains nowadays. Number 4. Urbanization and population growth. The increasing trend of urbanization and population growth also contribute to the severe plastic issue. This trend has driven up the demand for plastic. According to the Earth Eclipse, plastic waste can take up to 80% of the total urban waste. Number 5. Shopping habit. As stated by the Tuổi Trẻ News, a key factor that makes plastic pollution so troublesome in Vietnam is the long-standing habit among Vietnamese consumers. People don't usually bring along their own shopping bags. Instead, they tend to ask for a nylon bag at the cashier counters. Hence, almost every shopping place in Vietnam always prepares a redundant amount of plastic bags.
The water pollution problem in Vietnam is at an alarming rate, but not everyone is aware of the serious consequences that it can cause. It is not difficult to encounter all kinds of plastic waste scattered in the city, countryside, rivers, lakes, and beaches in Vietnam. This issue is especially worse in famous tourist destinations such as Cat Ba Beach area or Do Sơn Beach. Some harmful impacts of plastic waste include biodiversity destruction or degradation, and changes in the structure and composition of ecosystem. Species may also mistake plastic waste for the shelter of food. Particularly, plastic can take hundreds of years to decompose. After that, it turns into microplastic particles which can clot or damage the intestinal wall and reduce the ability to absorb the food of organisms that swallow them. Moreover, some substances in plastic such as nonylphenol, phthalates, bisphenol A, and styrene monomers can cause poisoning or even death to organisms. Humans may not directly swallow plastic or microplastic particles. Nonetheless, many animals are humans' food sources. If these animals ingest the poison and then be digested by humans, the consequences will be horrendous. Besides, plastic waste can also cause economic and social losses. The most obvious impact is on the marine economy. This is due to damages and losses such as fishing nets caught in the propeller, garbage blocking water intakes, or garbage caught in fishing nets. Additionally, the cost of cleaning up plastic waste on tourist beaches and shipping lanes is considerably expensive.
Because of the terrible consequences above, Vietnam fire against latex is now more urgent than ever. Recently, this fight in Vietnam has experienced a major turning point in June 2019 when the Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc launched the national ceremony of the campaign against plastic waste.
Từng cộng đồng, mỗi gia đình và từng người dân ngay từ bây giờ hãy thực hiện khẩu hiệu nói không với rác thải nhựa ngay từ những hành động nhỏ nhất.
On May 15, 2019, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment collaborated with the World Economic Forum in Global Plastic Action Partnership. In addition, on July 29, 2019, the Ministry of Health of Vietnam issued Direct 08 on reducing plastic waste in health sector through restricting the use of single-use plastics or nylon in the patient room, at meetings, conferences, and other medical-related activities. Next, in August 2019, the National Assembly of Vietnam has announced that it would abandon the use of plastic water bottles in all of its meetings. As replacement, water would be served in glasses. Then, on October 25th, the Ministry of Industry and Trade asked the business to minimize the reduction of plastic bags for daily use. For people, the ministry suggests changing the usage behavior such as switching to use cloth bag or biodegradable bag when shopping. In response to the call of Vietnam government, many individuals and organizations have simultaneously conducted various actions to survey pollution in Vietnam. An outstanding example in the June 21st, 2019, even when 9 leading Vietnamese companies gathered and established Packaging Recycling Organization Vietnam, with the mission to collect and recycle all packaging material that they distributed. Besides supermarket chains such as Co-op, have begun to give the habit of using nylon bags, specifically since March 2011. This retailer has decided to wrap fruit sold with clean banana leaves that use the eco-friendly biodegradable bag instead of plastic packaging as before. Likewise, a series of restaurants, coffee shops, and more have replaced plastic cup with the paper cup. Replacing plastic straw with organic straw makes a large marble right attractor. Also, books and stationery have shown this way. Fahasa, Vietnam's largest bookstore chain, from the April 1st, 2019, have removed the plastic packaging and switched to wrap by paper. Furthermore, Fahasa also recommended that consumers bring the low bag to carry the product they buy at its store. These trends are significantly well received by Vietnamese consumers, especially young people. These have also contributed their effort through the establishment of various environmental organizations: Vietnam Green Generation, Clean Up Vietnam, Recycling Fair, Eco Rick Project, and volunteer campaign for plastic collecting. The fire still show no sign of abating, even though the nation is struggling to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. For instance, in Guangdong province, people collect plastic reduced in trend for products such as masks and hand wash, right, disinfection, etc.
As now more and more people are concerned about plastic pollution in the world generally and in Vietnam specifically, a question has been raised on which the best solution is. However, we believe that these issues cannot be solved by any single measure alone. In order to utterly remove the complicated plastic issues, Vietnam should carry out a system of methods which we combine into 4 Rs: refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Firstly, we should practice saying no to plastic products whenever we can. When no one wants to use plastic, no one will want to produce it, and plastic may disappear. The key point to perform these measures lie in the education system, which means that people should be aware of how dangerous plastic is and learn to reject using it. Unfortunately, at the moment, there is no perfect alternative for plastic found. Hence, there may be times when plastic is the only option we have. In that reluctant case, we can use plastic. However, we should try to minimize the amount of plastic use. Besides, if we have to use plastic products, it would be better if we find a way to use it again. This means that we should get rid of single-use plastic. By reusing it, we can help delay the process of plastic disposal and cut down the amount of plastic waste discharged into the environment. Finally, we should also pay attention to the plastic waste that are still available in the environment. Since they may continue to stay there for hundreds of years more, the better choice would be to change them into something more useful and give them another life. Or in other words, recycle them. There is no doubt that the environment is the vital part of human life. If we do not do it right now to improve so that the future will be worse, and it will not be a big problem if everyone has more responsibility in protecting the environment by changing the habitat of using plastic things. We should grow awareness, educate young persons to save the environment as soon as possible. All recommendations provided above could be good suggestions to protect the environment from wasting, overusing plastic, by the way, and to replace plastic things such as paper bags, and recycle things for use many times. Furthermore, the government should make a strict rule for humans and make sure that everyone is in compliance to save our environment.
And that's the end of our video. We hope that you enjoy it and grow more responsibility to our environment.